We put so much trust in cloud providers and our own IT departments, right? We hand over our most sensitive data. But have you ever stopped to think, what if the very people guarding that data are also the biggest threat? Well, today we're diving into a really cool piece of tech that's designed to do just that. Guard the Guardians.
Yeah, it's a pretty chilling thought, isn't it? That the biggest risk to your data might not be some hacker halfway across the world, but someone who's already inside. Someone with the keys to the kingdom. And that's exactly the challenge we're going to unpack today.
So what we're really talking about here is the insider threat, a malicious administrator, or heck, even a compromised piece of hardware. This is the big security problem that tech like Microsoft's Guarded Fabric was specifically created to solve.
Think about it for a second. We need system admins. They build everything, they keep the lights on, they fix things when they break. But that all-powerful access they have, it's also a huge vulnerability. It means they could, if they wanted to, peek into our data, copy it, mess with it. It's this total paradox of trust.
So how in the world do you solve a problem like that? Well, to make it easier to understand, let's use an analogy. Picture your most sensitive data as a VIP guest, okay? And this VIP is heading to a super exclusive digital speakeasy. Now, the security at this club isn't just about keeping random people out. It's about making sure the staff, the people running the place, can't spy on the guests either.
Okay, so let's see how this speakeasy analogy actually maps to the real technology. Our VIP guest, the sensitive data, that's what we call a shielded virtual machine, or a shielded VM. The secure club it's running inside, that's the Guarded Fabric. And the unbribable bouncer at the front door, that's the star of our show, the Host Guardian Service. It runs a really tough security check called TPM Trusted Attestation.
All right, let's zoom in on that bouncer for a minute. Because really, this is the hero of our story. It's the one thing responsible for making absolutely sure the club, the actual server hardware, is safe and sound before it lets any of our VIPs through the door.
So this is the Host Guardian Service, or HGS. Think of it as a completely independent, trusted authority. And its motto isn't trust but verify. Nope, it's more like don't trust, always verify. It literally demands hardcore cryptographic proof that a server is healthy before it'll even think about releasing the keys needed to run our sensitive virtual machine.
And you can't just take this Guardian out either. HGS is smart. It's not a single point of failure. It's almost always deployed as a super resilient cluster, usually with 3 servers. That redundancy means the security checkpoint is always online. The bouncer always has backup. Okay, so how does this bouncer actually do its security check? How can it be so sure that the club itself is secure? This isn't like checking a driver's license. No way. This is more like a deep forensic sweep of the entire building, right down to the foundations. Well, it's done using something called TPM Trusted Attestation. Almost every modern server has this tiny special security chip built right in, called a Trusted Platform Module, or TPM. What this little chip does is securely log the entire boot-up process. It basically creates a unique, verifiable fingerprint of the server's health. It's a guarantee, right from the hardware level, that the system is clean and hasn't been messed with. So here's how that secure handshake plays out. The server, the host, goes to the HGS and says, hey, I want to run a shielded VM. The HGS basically says, hold on, prove to me who you are and that you're healthy. So the host presents its security log, which has been digitally signed by that hardware TPM chip. The HGS takes that log and checks it against a list of what's considered good and healthy. If everything lines up perfectly, then it hands over the keys.
All right, our VIP made it past the bouncer and is now inside the club. So what exactly makes this place so special? What makes it so uniquely secure for our data? This is where we get to the shielded VM itself, our VIP guest. The shield is all about powerful encryption. We're talking the virtual machine's hard drive is encrypted, its memory is encrypted, everything. And the keys to unlock all of that goodness? They're held safely by the Host Guardian Service. The only way to get those keys is to be a proven, healthy host. So what does all this protection actually get you in the real world? Well, for one, your data is secure, period, whether it's just sitting there at rest or actively being processed. It also means that even a nosy admin on the host machine can't see a thing. And get this, if someone literally walks out the door with the server's hard drives, all they have is a bunch of encrypted gibberish, useless without the HGS keys.
Just let that sink in for a moment. Think about how powerful that is. This technology creates a fundamental separation between the people who manage the infrastructure and the data that runs on it. They're no longer automatically trusted with everything. And that right there is a complete game changer for data security.
Okay, this tech is obviously really impressive. But let's zoom out. What's the real-world impact here? Why does creating these provably secure digital spaces matter so much?
Well, for any organization that deals with really sensitive info, we're talking healthcare records, financial data, top secret government stuff, this is absolutely critical. It lets them use modern, efficient infrastructure, even public clouds, while still having provable, hardcore control and security over their own data.
And that really leaves us with one last thought to chew on. In this crazy, complex world of shared clouds and intricate infrastructure, it's just not enough to build a wall around your data anymore. You have to be able to prove the integrity of the very ground it's built on. So let me ask you, do you really know who or what is guarding your data?